Welcome into 5 Wide Fantasy. Today's video, a mock draft to get us going. It is our first video as we start the new 2023 NFL season. We're going to have plenty of content for you guys throughout the year, so if you guys enjoy the video, if you're looking forward to more content leading up to the season, be sure to like the video, comment down below, and as well, subscribe to the channel. What we'll be doing as well is I want to get more interactive with you guys. So any comments, any questions you guys have related to the upcoming season, the fantasy season, really anything in the NFL world, I want to answer them. So we'll do those at the beginning or at the end of every single show. Today, we're running, obviously, a 12-team mock draft. I'm going to be grabbing the 6th spot here. It's early for me. It's a new season. There's a lot of turnover. Some of you guys are probably, if you're watching this video, you love fantasy football and you love the NFL, so you've probably got some knowledge of your own. I'm just starting to build out my fantasy rankings at all the positions and whatnot. You'll expect to see a video today on Sunday. You're going to see a video in fantasy on Monday, and on Wednesdays, we're going to drop some generic NFL content. So I'll be dropping my top 10 defenses heading into this season. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. But we'll be very casual here, kind of learning about how these drafts are going to go. It's very early, right? A lot of these players and their ADPs are going to change drastically how things move forward. For example, we're going to be seeing Alexander Mattison. When I'm recording this, Dalvin Cook was released. His ADP is going to move. But let's get into it here. I think the 6th spot's an interesting one as we start to build things out. And obviously, things are changing significantly when it comes to previous seasons and the value of the running back position. So definitely leaves a lot different look here. Definitely an opportunity for wide receivers to be the first ones off the board. Justin Jefferson in particular. As we get to this 6th spot here, definitely have a number of different options. Cooper Kupp was able to be super efficient still an elite level player, even with Matthew Stafford out. Stafford's status for this coming season, really up in the air. I'm going to go with Saquon Barkley here to start things out, though. Loving what he was able to do in that another year removed from the ACL surgery. We're seeing a lot of guys that come back from the ACL injury and look really not like themselves in year one, but for Saquon was able to bounce back as things move forward. So getting back here, Tony Pollard, definitely in for, could that be a Dalvin Cook spot? I was thinking about that. I'd be surprised if they run Tony Pollard and not a really competent guy running mate with him, especially now moving the play calling duties over to McCarthy. We saw what he would do when he was calling plays in Green Bay. But anyways, I do like Pollard, like with the way the outlook is for him right now. Really like it. McCarthy's running back one usage rate was really good. Waddle in that excellent offense though. I just took Barkley. I'm still gonna go Pollard here. I want to see what it looks like here, trying to build out the receiver spots in these later rounds. But Waddle would definitely be another great spot. Okay. Quarterback is also the other thing that I'm going to be heavily looking at. I've done a couple mocks in the last couple days, and grabbing some of these quarterbacks later is going to be really tough, and there could be some big separation. Okay. Travis Etienne, love his receiving upside there. The addition of Calvin Ridley could have an impact on that. He was really good, really efficient last year. We still have Dalvin Cook in this thing. I do like, Jalen Hurts in the 3rd does not look like a bad spot for him, and I definitely think that his ADP could move up into that early 3rd, closer to the season. Man. Wide receiver-wise, what are we looking at here? Debo, Devontae, Olave. I definitely like those guys, but maybe not this early. I'm going to go Jalen Hurts. Let's see what I can do with a roster built through the quarterback position. Obviously, a little bit of a downgrade at wide receiver, not being able to grab one yet, but there's plenty of guys I like late and throughout the depth of this. Okay. Keenan Allen, DeAndre Hopkins. Hopkins without a place to play, I'm not going to draft him. I'll just kind of let that be a CPU type deal. Keenan's getting up there in age. We've got the competition to Quentin Johnston now. Mike's really competing with him for that number 1 spot. And I'm going to have to consider running back, I guess. George Kittle at the tight end spot. J.K. Dobbins. Jahmyr Gibbs. Those touchdowns, where are they going in Detroit this year? Let's go. I'm going to still go Keenan Allen. Still a very reliable target for Herbert. Feel like as our preseason work goes on, I might be a little bit concerned, but as of right now, let's see what we can build out with that being the case. Man, Gibbs coming back. I feel like Fields is definitely going to be a popular target for me if he stays in this range. Just because, again, I do feel that his upside, honestly, like staying in the field is going to be one thing, but his upside to me is better than Lamar Jackson's because of how injury prone he's been, and it's higher than Joe Burrow's because of those rushing capabilities. But I'm going to go, man, I really want to go with this running back heavy. I know we still have competition in Detroit. It's not necessarily all Gibbs, but I mean, with how early that draft capital is spent, Moore and McLaurin are just, they're not quite in my thought process at this point. Swift, Kamara. I love Judy. I really do like Judy. I'm very, very excited for his season. I'm going to go Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm not liking what we're doing here, to be honest. I definitely am thinking now I wish I went Waddle with that first pick. But that's fine. We can make up for it in these later rounds. So Ridley. So here's quickly. I've really, I don't know what Ridley's role is in terms of his split with Kirk or where him and Kirk are going to be running. Lawrence loves the slot. Like Kirk was one of my favorite guys to take last year in the preseason, having him on a ton of my teams. And it's because Lawrence has a massive affinity for the slot. When it comes to Ingram, when it comes to Kirk last year, we saw it. Ridley can definitely be an explosive option for them. Where is he running his routes? Is he going to get more work in the slot? Will be interesting. Mike Evans. I mean, we're getting such a good discount on Evans. Like, I do think there's obviously going to be a downgrade with Baker Mayfield at quarterback, but this offensive line will be healthier for Tampa. And I do think that will be significantly beneficial for this team. And you get a guy who doesn't need high volume to be productive as that end zone guy. Obviously, this has to be a team that's successful offensively, but I do think we're getting Mike Evans at a really good discount from that perspective. And I do think, man, I'm going to go Evans. I'm going to go Mike Evans. I like the Jacksonville offense. You know, I don't want to go Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Demont, I'm definitely not taking with it. I just took Jahmyr Gibbs. So I'm going to go there. Darren Waller, also a great option for sure at the tight end spot. We'll definitely be talking about it, I think, over the next week or so, what I like at tight end. So, okay. It gets back to me. We just missed on Christian Kirk. That'd have been nice. Okay, Brandon Ayuk, James Cook, Pat Freiermuth, Dak, Pickens, Ingram, Dillon, Jamal Williams. Schultz. I really like Schultz. Schultz is one of the tight ends I absolutely, absolutely love. What are we thinking here? Let's go. Pickens, Ingram. I'm gonna go with a little reach here because I do really like Schultz, and I want to make sure I get him. It's gonna be very interesting how this Texans offense evolves because, I mean, I don't have a lot of faith in Nico Collins being able to be like a number one guy for this team. Schultz, of course, has been a player that's been able to demand a really high volume. And then now he gets a 49ers style scheme, which is built to help create yards after the catch. That was something he struggled with in his time in Dallas. But volume, could score touchdowns. We get him some more. I think he'd be a 1,000-yard guy. I really, really do. Cortland Sutton, Rashad Penny. Sutton, I really like Judy. I'm not as high on Sutton. I do think that with Peyton coming in, it's probably time to kind of is Russell Wilson effectiveness with the deep ball? Can it be found again? Because that was one of his better traits in Seattle. But with Peyton, not something you saw as much with his teams. Tony, Gabe Davis. Yeah, I love Pete Ryan. I'm gonna go Pete Ryan there. So we only have 2 wide receivers, and I do have four running backs. So I did go running back heavy with the way things have kind of shaken out here, but I think you can still go in a lot of different directions. Sutton makes it all the way back. I'm definitely, Juju is just not someone that excites me whatsoever. I'm going to go Elijah Moore in this spot. Elijah Moore, or do I go Sutton? I kind of like Moore's upside more than I like Sutton's. I'm still just so concerned about that offense from the way that Sutton plays. Like Peyton is definitely going to improve the offense, but like how much is this a case of Russell Wilson as a quarterback now as it is the case of the offensive play calling being so poor last year? And I really like Elijah Moore. We'll talk more about him in future videos for sure, but I really expect the Browns are a team I'm very high on heading into the year. Obviously, Watson coming off a terrible season to his standards. I think this is an opportunity to get in a full off season, not being suspended, being able to practice with the team and whatnot in preparation for those, that opening week. I think this team is in for a big year. So we got a couple rounds left here. I do want to focus on the wide receiver position. Rashad Bateman will be somebody interesting in terms of his impact coming back. I already saw Zay Flowers dealing with like a hamstring injury. I'm not sold on Odell coming back and being instantly impactful. Another ACL injury, missing the whole year. I said this about running backs, my concern with the ACLs. So let me go Bateman. Because again, I do think we've seen Lamar really improve as a passer over the last couple of seasons. Alexander Madison would have been an obvious pick, but I do want to avoid taking an easy guy with a crazy an ADP that's definitely way off. All right. Continue with looking at wide receiver. Let me just go back to all just to see what else is here. Chig Okonkwo, definitely not one of those later tight ends to consider. AR-15, I just wonder about with Richardson if the Colts want to go to him right away. Because obviously Seichen's familiar with Minshew, knows what he can get out of him. And Richardson definitely has... is a guy that will provide growing pains. And if is Steichen patient enough to ride it out with him, or is he just going to be looking to, win as many games as he can with this team? But I do think the organization has patience with him as a coach, so he probably doesn't need to rush things, and that could see Richardson on the bench for a little while. Rondale Moore, Hunter Renfrow, Chark, Sky Moore is an interesting player as well. With so much opportunity in Kansas City. It just last year, I was kind of thinking about, let's grab a guy here. Boyd is not in a bad spot. Let's go no, actually, I already took, let's go. Mooney is just not a player. I just don't know where the volume's going to be at for him. Let's go Adam Thielen. I'll go Adam Thielen there as a more reliable target in Carolina. What were we talking about earlier? Oh, yeah, the Chiefs situation. Yeah. So the thing for me is, like, we saw Juju and we saw MVS in this offense. Behind Kelsey, like, now that Tyreek Hill is gone, Tony has the talent to be that Tyreek Hill level game breaker. The health is a major concern. But we saw the Chiefs be so good without needing Tyreek. Can somebody find that level of production that puts them really valuable from a fantasy perspective? There is a decent chance that Sky Moore returns value at this price going in the 12th round. But does he go in the 12th round once we get closer to the season? That'll definitely be the question. Jeff Wilson, Sky Moore. I'm interested in Wandale. Again, now we're bringing in Darren Waller. The opportunity's a little bit less available to him, but he's another guy coming off a big injury, season-ending injury. We've gone 5 wide receivers. Running backs, Fournette. Let's go. Yeah, I'm going to go Sky Moore. Again, just pure, we got a decent upside play there. Who else do we have available on this thing? Curtis Samuel. It's probably different with Sam Howell, but man, like, we still have this we still have Rivera at head coach. I guess the staff's not the same offensively, but man, there was an affinity there. But it definitely was more Carson Wentz than it was with. Why am I forgetting on his name now? I can picture him. He's in Atlanta now. Anyways, the locking on to a guy like Samuel was huge for Wentz, but wasn't as much when it wasn't Wentz. Chuba Hubbard. Sanders was healthy last year. Hubbard would definitely be able to fill in. This won't be a crazy successful offense probably, though, but not necessarily bad, a bad option. Quarterback, we got, again, we went with Fields, so I don't necessarily need to grab anybody. Allen Robinson enters that wide receiver 3 role now. KJ Osborne. Josh Downs. This is our last pick. We can kind of go wherever we like here. Let's go Chuba Hubbard. Yeah, I think there's that's a fine handcuff in this offense. It's Frank Reich, so anything happens, there's definitely still going to be a run game here. All right, that is the end of the draft. So we got Jalen Hurts at quarterback, Saquon and Tony Pollard at running back, Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, a couple old guys at wide receiver, Dalton Schultz at tight end, Samaje Perine, some upside there early in the year with Perine with that injury for Javonte Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs, the rookie, and then we've got my raid here of wide receivers that are on the bench with Elijah Moore, Rashad Bateman, Adam Thielen, Sky Moore, and Chuba Hubbard. Do I love this team? Probably not, but that's why it's early. We're learning a little bit. I think wide receiver in these early rounds is definitely, at least in this middle part of the draft, could be the better way to go. Like I mentioned, it wasn't Jalen Waddle, it was Tyreek Hill and Cooper Kupp. Could have been the better options for me there at wide receiver in that first round. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel as well. Like I said, 3 videos a week coming to you guys moving forward for the next little bit here. And we'll have another video out for you tomorrow on Monday. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you on the next one.